a drive through Alicante today. So I've just left the hotel where we stayed yesterday evening. We've been in a great meeting there with.
Continue for 1 kilometre.
I will do. I'm being told what to do by Google, so hopefully Google is going to get me to my destination. My final destination is apparently 11 minutes away, and it is the foreigners office at Mira. It's at Campo Mira number 6, and basically we are going to meet some clients to go and register their visas, register their renewals, and meet Victoria, who's our appointment specialist. She's going to be there today as well. I'm just going to be on the side, really, just checking how everything goes. We've got a lot of clients, more and more clients in Alicante, more and more people renewing, so we're going to make sure that all our information's up to date and that everybody's okay. As I say, today we've got 7 appointments. We're generally in a month going through this station. We would have anything up to 20-25 appointments probably. So on this road trip I'm taking advantage of being here and jumping in on a couple. Now I just thought I'd take you a drive while I'm driving from the hotel's smack bang in the middle, and Mira is on the outskirts. So I thought, right, Google's telling me what to do. I can show you what it's like driving around Alicante. Fantastic, vibrant city. There's such a good vibe about this place. So you're seeing a lot of the back streets now, but you get on those main roads. I was in the Mercado de Bastos. I've done a video on that as well this morning, which is basically the main market, fruit, veg, fish. And a couple of things stood out to me. One, how tidy it was. I've never seen a market with just such tidy stalls. There wasn't one tomato out of place. It was incredible. You know, and then the other thing that stood out was the price. A lot of these markets now have become, should we say, reasonably trendy. Alright, which pushes the price up, which makes them less competitive to supermarkets. And to be honest, I was shocked. The meat was reasonably priced. They had a range, everything you could possibly want. So you could have anything from, I don't think you're supposed to go there on that bike, lady, but I don't mind. Just be careful of people zipping around on those horrible little scooter things. But you could have everything. There was everything from your cheap cuts of pork all the way up to extremely expensive Wagyu beef. You know, so whatever took your fancy. Same for the fruit and veg. You had your very specialist tomatoes, for example, all the way down to your tomatoes for your gazpacho, your peras. So yeah, that was a nice surprise. See where Google's taking me. So there, got cut off there. I was just checking on Google.
Take the next left to stay on Camino del Castillo de San Fernando, then turn right onto Cara Catedratic Jorm Marsai Porcel.
He's taking me around the castle. This is brilliant. Loving this.
Take the next right onto Cara Catedratic Jorm Marsai Porcel.
So I'm trusting Google here, because the last time I looked, it just took me straight through town. And now I'm being taken on a scenic tour around the castle.
In 50 metres, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Calais Escolta Banyuls.
But we're going to go for it.
In 600 metres, turn right onto Calais Aurelian Oribara.
And you can hear Google. We trust you, Google. Oh wow, look, it's taking us to the football stadium ahead. There you go. Wow, fantastic. Wasn't expecting to have this little tourist view today. Love seeing new places. I've only been to Alicante Centre as a walking tourist. Look at this, we're right at the football stadium now. That's a very impressive stadium. Not too sure what league Alicante are in. Very typical Mediterranean stadium, that, you know, no roof, anything like that. Now we're back into a more urban area.
Turn right onto Calle Aureliano Ibarra, then turn left onto Cara Cerda.
Right. Absolutely no clue where I am, but it's great to see these back streets.
Take the next left onto Cara Cerda, then turn left onto Cara Ceres. Turn left onto Cara Ceres.
Let's take a left here. Back streets of Alicante, being around the castle. And so yeah, as I was saying, I mean the centre is hustle and bustle, but plenty of places to have a coffee. I stayed at a place called Eurostar Central. I wasn't that impressed with it, to be honest with you. The breakfast was a bit naff. You find it in these sort of business style hotels where, you know, they offer great Wi-Fi and stuff like that. I don't know what it is. It's the second one I've been to, and the breakfast is naff. They like have a sort of a, well, they didn't do fried eggs, which I'm a bit of a sucker for fried eggs, to be honest. But apart from that, it's sort of halfway between trying to have a dodgy sort of English breakfast but without the proper stuff, and then having sort of Mediterranean cheeses and stuff like that. I don't know, I mean, don't get me wrong, anything that's Mediterranean I like.
In 400 meters, your destination will be on the right.
But certainly hard cheese for 8:30 in the morning for breakfast, probably not the one. Well, according to this, it's going to be on the right. Let's hope so. Are we here? We certainly are. I recognise this. Our car parks here. Absolutely fantastic. Here we are. Well, Google, you gave us a bit of a tour. That in front of you guys is the queue for the Mira police station.
Your destination is on the right.
You can see that there. We're going to get loads of content here, even more than we've got on our channel already. As you can see, there's lots of parking here. All right, so as long as you can get here, you've got parking. It's great. And fabulous. We are going to go meet Victoria, go meet some clients, and that is a little drive through Alicante for you guys. I just thought I'd show you what it's like to have a drive through. So, road trip day 3. Well, there's a lot to tell you. So, more content for the channel we've got. So this is just my quick road trip summary of what we've been up to, and you are currently, check that out over there, that is the Mira 6 TIE office, and that is where we meet so many of our clients who are moving to Alicante. So we've been there all afternoon, and I turned up and surprised a few of our clients. It was nice. I don't think they knew I was coming. So there's always this mystical being who sits behind a computer called Chris, who I talk to all the time and go through such a journey with our clients, you know, sometimes, and I never get to meet them. In fact, I met with a lovely couple who were on their renewal and I'd never actually met them. So it's nice to get out and see people. Obviously we're there with Victoria, who's our service specialist here, our appointment specialist here in Alicante. Does a fabulous job all the time. I mean, you really are in good hands with Victoria. She gives you the pre-talk, the prep talk beforehand, and making sure that you're comfortable for your appointment. And then on the way you have your TDH, what we call TDH. TDH stands for Toma de Huella, taking of the fingerprints. And then when you come out, Victoria always informs you of what you need to be looking to do next, basically. So you could, you know, be doing about everything from doing your driving license to what you should do with your card, to the renewals, and just giving you an overview. And also, one thing I absolutely loved today was how Victoria reminded our clients that today's a very special day, because it's when you've finally registered your visa. So all that hard work that you put in to get the visa, you know, the ups and downs, the lows, the highs, the emails. I mean, we have a CRM system, which is a client relationship management system, where it helps us to remind us how and when we're supposed to be reminding clients, calling clients, emailing clients about the various things that what we do with them. And it counts the interactions, and quite often, I mean, it's quite often between phone calls and emails, etc., from start to finish, it's normal to have 150 interactions, believe it or not, with the clients. And that's to the point where we're getting where we can register your visa here. So it's it's a long form relationship, and it's fun. A lot of it's fun. Most of the time it goes smoothly, you know. We can also deal with hiccups, and but it was, so one of our clients here that I met today, Heather, she reminded me, she said, look, you know, it was a lovely story. She said, for some reason I don't want to go too into her personal reasons, but she said, I decided in February I was going to go for it, and our call was the 1st of March. That's when we had our call, and here we are. We were actually sat in a bus stop, believe it or not, just waiting up the road, because there was 4 clients in with Victoria. I said, I'll have a wander up and catch up with everybody else, and Heather was just starting the bus stop up the road, and we had sat there and had a good chat, to be honest. And she said it was March the 1st that we initially contacted. We decided the timeline, we went for it, and here we are, registering the card. And that's not the end of the journey. You have to put your card up as well, don't forget. But it was nice to get out and see people and be out here in Alicante. It's also, I was here a couple of years ago, but it's good for me to be back and just remember the experience that people go through when they're here, because it's what we have to tell people, what we're essentially advising people. If someone phones me up tomorrow, says, Chris, well, books a call, says, Chris, we're looking at 2024, we're going to Torrevieja, going to somewhere in Alicante, what about the stage 2, as we call it? Where are we going to go? I can say, right, well, you see that little blue sign, and watch this video that I did, and I got a great video walking to both car parks using this bad boy. Look at this. So this is what they call, now, as you've probably noticed from our channel, I'm not the most technical YouTuber in the world, but this is called a gimbal, right? It's taken me a while to get used to this. I haven't even worked out the remote thing, but look, you turn it on, it's got settings, a joystick, a squiggly thing, and oh, there you go. And if you get it right, it balances the camera as you're walking along. And if your camera goes a bit off, you can nudge it with a joystick. It's a cool bit of kit, to be honest with you. And when I mentioned it to my son, I went, look at this, thought I was going to impress him. And so I said, yeah, it's a gimbal, everybody uses it, skateboarders, obviously I'm definitely not going to be using it on the skateboard. But yeah, so So anyway, rambling on about gimbals now, but we've got some great content using the gimbal. That's what I said. So really showing, last time I came I didn't really know what I was doing with the channel, to be honest. Where we wanted to take it. We knew we wanted to get videos out there which inform people of the processes, but what do people actually want and need? And one of the videos is just to show you around, you know, where to park and etc, etc. So where am I going now? This way, I think. Oh, you'll have to excuse me.
In 200 meters,
on the wrong road.
use any lane to turn slightly right onto Avinguda Delex, N332. Use any lane to turn slightly right onto Avinguda Delex, N332.
I'll turn Google down now.
In 400 meters, then the roundabout, take the full exit and stay on A31 heading to Madrid, Alicante.
No, definitely don't want to go to Madrid, Alicante. We're in Alicante, don't want to go to Madrid. So anyway, the most important thing is that we got so much content to get out there in the next 6 months. I had a great experience there, 7 appointments today, all managed by Victoria. I was just there really tagging along, as you do, and seeing, it was nice to see what it was like inside the police station as well, you know, because I hadn't actually been inside Mirror. Yeah, and looking forward to more content on the channel and more residency NLVs, EU family members in Alicante for 2024. There we go. So that's it, that was our day in the morning. So yesterday evening, I didn't tell you about the evening, we met with Costa for short. Costa is our guy in Valencia. So he, an appointment specialist, an immigration specialist actually, and he meets our clients there in the Valencia area. I couldn't get up to Valencia to see Costa, so too much of a drive really, with what we need to cram in for this trip. So he kindly agreed to pop down and see me here in Alicante, and we had a lovely meal yesterday, just talking about things for the future, how we can incorporate more our brand in Valencia, his plans, how's it going with our clients, you know, things like the document folders that we send up, what is necessary, what's not necessary, what are the nuances in Valencia. It's crazy. So he was telling me about the nuances with the NIE numbers, and I'm like, oh no, in Malaga this is what we have to do. In Valencia it's completely different. It's completely different, but kettle of fish. It's crazy. So it's important to have these support networks on the ground when you're dealing with people at a national level, because somebody goes, oh, they do NIEs, we're going to ask them, get me an NIE. But it's just not that simple at times. You have to know what's going on, and you have to have people on the ground. We were talking about the EU requirements, completely different again to our area. We know on a provincial basis in Spain the requirements change. It's crazy. So that was important. As I said, we had a nice meal. We had that Spanish classic of a kebab, if you want to know the honest truth. But it was very nice kebab. But it was also nice because we always work on the internet, don't we, together? So Costa reached out to us, I believe, at first, and we were like, yeah, great, we like it, we love the way he works, and we can work together. But we've never actually met in person, so it's like we've never had a chat over a beer. And he'd come, what's your history? I don't know. What's my history? I don't know. You know, so it was nice to get a couple of hours of just chatting generally in, you know, which is something which I think is important when we're expanding the network as well. So that's that. And we're also looking at the slight gap that we have from south, well, let's call it West Valencia to East Alicante. There's a little gap there what we struggle to cover, and we're working on that as well, so that's good between us, seeing what we can do. And then from there I actually went on to the Mercado de Abastos, which is the local market, just to have a look, wander around, grab a quick video there as well. Fantastic place, really enjoyed there, lots of local products, and got a feel for these markets are strange places now. Malaga's the same, because they've survived the supermarket threat, you know, and they've become trendy again. So a lot of people are going, oh, I can't be bothered to go down the market because I'm getting it all in Mercadona. But they've come full circle, and they're packed. You know, the main city centre markets were packed, and everything's so well organised. The price was good, and people are going back out and buying from markets. But at the same time, they attract a lot of tourists, because evidently they're in old, beautiful buildings, you know, it's nice just to have a walk around. But what I would say, if you're a tourist and you're coming to Alicante and you're looking at these markets and you are looking around, what I would say is buy something, please. You know, even if it's just a kilo of tomatoes, because there's a lot of people walking around looking at the stalls going, oh, that's nice, but you know, it doesn't help the people who are working there, does it? So buy something if you go. And that's it. Now we're heading to Guardamar Segura, to our next hotel. My face is red because of this light in front, not because I've been in the sun. And this is the coast road. This is the coast road leading out of Alicante. And I believe it's just a straight road all the way, because it's on the coast as well. Oh, Google is telling me we've got 21 kilometers to go. My friends laugh at me, my Spanish friends laugh at me, because learning Spanish, right, I've got 21 kilometers to waffle on here, so you might find this interesting or you might not, but let's continue the waffle and the drive along the front. Day 3 of the road trip. But learning Spanish, especially if you're an adult, you do an awful lot of mimicking of the sounds around you. Right? You copy people. All right? We don't always have the capacity to learn everything perfectly, nor should you. It should be fun, especially no one expects you to be fluent, okay, especially if you've just arrived, you're retired, you're living in Spain. But people would expect that you made an effort, to be honest. You know, it's you have to make an effort to learn a bit of Spanish if you come to Spain, I believe. I think it's a good idea. You know, more for yourself, because it's so fulfilling when you go and order your first kilo of tomatoes in Spanish. You know, so just using that as an example. You might not like tomatoes. So yeah, but when you're learning it, what happens is you generally tend to mimic people. So if you hear somebody say something or a phrase, you hear it enough, you'll copy it and you'll use it as well. You'll use that phrase. I've been here for 23 years, as I've said before. You know, I was very, very lucky to start work in a very Spanish environment, learn very quickly because I had to at that time. But a lot of that came from just mimicking the people around me. So I can remember somebody saying, "Dame la silla," which means give me the chair, right? And I thought "Dame la silla" was just one word for quite a while, until someone said to me, no, you break it down like this. I can remember that, and I was like, oh. But he went, it's rude anyway. So I initially went around going, "Dame la silla." So another thing that I've copied, okay, which obviously the invention of the various internet services, which has happened since I've been here in the year 2000. Okay, like Google, YouTube, they've become popular. So when they first became popular, people used to phonetically say the word. So my friends would say, they wouldn't say Google, because that's how you say it if you're an English person. They would say Google it. Google it. Búscalo en Google. Right? So evidently, when I'm talking to someone in Spanish, I just mimic the way they say it, because I'm not going to say it in English. I'm saying to an English person, I'm not going to say look for it in Google. I'm not going to say look for it in Google. I'm just going to look for it in Google. But if I'm talking to a Spanish person, then quite often I'll say Google it. But now, and this is the interesting thing, because we're 20 years on, most Spanish people who have a slight understanding of English will actually call it Google, right? And it turns out that the old people call it Google it, which now I suppose, as being in my mid-40s, somebody in their 20s who calls it Google would call me old. So I continue in my Spanish conversations to call it Google it, where most Spanish turn around and call it Google. And when they hear me saying Google it, laugh their heads off at me. So, hey, confused.com. I thought I was doing it properly. It happened to me the other day at Halloween with a bunch of friends, and I said, Google it. Now I'm like, Google it. Who calls it Google it? They said, Christopher, nobody calls it Google it anymore. We're not all cadetos anymore, you know. He said, we call it Google. I was like, oh, okay, all right, fair enough. So that joke went on for a while, and then it happened again, because YouTube phonetically is YouTube. So evidently I call it YouTube. So we're in a conversation and everybody Lara went, oh, it was something about our YouTube channel and that. And Lara went, oh yeah, Chris, and they said, oh, where do you figure? I said, well, so we've got quite a few videos on YouTube. They're just laughing their heads off at me. Which I honestly didn't think was very fair. I thought, well, hang on a minute, I've learnt this from being a parrot, essentially, copying the language, copying what people say. And now I've got to unlearn that and go back to when I say YouTube or Google, I can have a conversation, my Spanish is very fluent, and then I've got to just that one word revert back to saying it in perfect English, which me didn't sit very well. But so there you go. It was a cause of fun with a few of our mates, which they quite often, when I come out with things, you know, say it's quite funny because we know you just copied that. I'm like, of course I just copied it. So there you go, funny little story. So if you're speaking to somebody and they're about 45 years plus, they'll probably say YouTube instead of YouTube. Anybody younger than that will just say YouTube. And the same for Google. Right then, so that's us. I hope you enjoyed the video. A little bit of a fun story. That is Mazaron done, Murcia done, Alicante well and truly done, and tomorrow we are heading to Torrevieja, Ciudad Casada, Rojales, these hot spots where all our clients are. We're going to get some videos around there, see what's happening there, and more content for the channel, more information. It's all good. We want to. This is turning. It's basically we're doing this, and it's no word of a lie. You know, to promote Alicante a bit more, promote our presence in Murcia a bit more, to let people know that we can help them on the ground in Murcia, in Alicante, that we're strengthening the network, Upsticks is national, and for those of you who are moving to any of these sort of foreigners hotspots where people live, we can help you, and we're out here, you know, we want to be there in some shape or form, in person, to help you. We're looking for things like our drop shops for the couriers, you know, so if we have to send something to you and you're here, you go to this place, pick it up. You know, other places where you might not know exist. We're in Matharon, for example. We're looking for a pet transport place, which we've been asked a few times to provide that. So there's all sorts of positive networking happening, positive vibes from the current network on strengthening what people need when they move to Spain, and people's journey. It's and to be honest, I love these road trips. I love getting out the office. My inbox probably won't like it when I get back to the hotel, so I'm going to sit there now and do my emails, but I love it, just getting a feel for the areas. You know, when you're sat back in that hot seat and some books are called for the 12th of January and they say we'll be looking at Place in the Sun on TV and we want to move to Torrevieja, I can say where you want to have a beer is, you know, and makes people feel comfortable. They know that we know the areas, we can relate to them more, and evidently that we've got our support network here for them. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. I am now 15 minutes off the next hostel. We're staying in a hostel tonight, not a hotel. 41 euros, single bed and breakfast in Guardamar de la Segura. Let's see, Guardamar de la Segura, I think it's called. Let's see what that's like.